everyone, Dr. Brad here with Life Essentials Health Center, and in today's weekly wellness video, we're going to break down some chiropractic 101. I just wanted to talk about this to let you know what we do in the office, the purpose of the adjustment, and how to live more effectively, okay? So there's a concept called homeodynamics, okay? A lot of people have heard of homeostasis. That's what the body aims for, but homeodynamics is the true term that we're using in today's society, because homeostasis just means that your body goes for one set point, and that's not the case. Your body's always having to change and adapt based on what you're doing, such as working out and needing to raise your heart rate in order to work out effectively, or digesting food. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So the biggest thing that chiropractors influence in terms of the adjustment is the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. These are your autonomic nerves. These are the ones that you don't have to think about, because this is regulating your gut, it's regulating your heartbeat, your adrenal glands, all of your hormones. It's doing eye movements, it's producing saliva, all of this stuff that you don't have to think about, that your brain is in charge of. This is what chiropractors influence the most, okay? So we're gonna go over that real quick. You've got the sympathetic nervous system on this side, the parasympathetic nervous system on this side. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system is most notably found in the cervical spine, the neck, as well as the tailbone. What we found is, in today's society, most people are go, go, go in America. The other thing that we find is, because we're closer to screens, we're always down like this texting, that the cervical spine doesn't get good input, and that a lot of loss of curvatures are located in the cervical spine. It's what we find the most. Cervical spine is in charge of a lot of different things. Specifically at that C1, there's a nerve called the vagus nerve. And when you increase vagal tone, you're increasing the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, what does that mean? Parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest system. It slows everything down, okay? And that's a good thing. Slows everything down so that the gut, especially and particularly at night when you're asleep, can do everything it needs to absorb nutrition and to get rid of waste products, okay? Sympathetic nervous system's on the other side of the coin, okay? And this is your fight or your flight response. And I'll talk about that a little bit more over time, but this is a good thing. We need this for homeodynamics, okay? We need to decrease our saliva and to increase our heart rate when we're working out, right? You don't want to be drooling over baby back ribs or something like that while you're exercising. We need blood flow to the muscles. And that's what happens here as well. With your sympathetic nervous system, we have increased blood flow to the muscles. The balance of these two systems is what's key. Most people in today's society are in a sympathetically driven tone. And in order to achieve homeodynamics, especially with like blood pressure problems, anxiety, stuff like that, we need to balance the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the power of the chiropractic adjustment. In the thoracics, in your mid-back, that's the sympathetic nervous system. In the low back, the sacrum, the tailbone, as well as up in the neck, closer to the brainstem and the brain, that's where you're going to get the parasympathetics. Now, I've done a lot of research, and I've looked at this for quite some time, so I just want to zoom this in and show you guys. This is an excellent chart that was made by a bunch of different doctors, both from the allopathic model and the holistic model, in regards to parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. So in this chart, we want to aim for the green and the blue, okay? Remember, homeodynamics. We need a healthy balance between these two, okay? But on this far left side, you have too much parasympathetic activity or lethargy. This is found most notably in your side effects of medications, especially antidepressants, different SSRIs, anti-anxiety medication, because in reality, all it's trying to do is get you away from all of this go, 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 and it overstimulates. It's too low of an arousal right here for the parasympathetics. It's too much, okay? Right here in the green, that's your calm, and your blue, that's your active. So this is the healthy state of parasympathetic and sympathetic tone that switches. Calm, this is what you'll find when you meditate, when you're sleeping, when you're increasing the amount of food that your gut has to process, which is another reason why people get food coma, right? It's because our body needs to increase parasympathetic tone. If you're always sympathetic, you're going to have gut issues, okay? And this is what we treat a lot with functional medicine in the clinic. A lot of people have gut issues. They're very acidic. They're very go, go, go. Their gut isn't processing anything. This is where we'll see stuff like indigestion, heartburn, hiatal hernia, loss of gut permeability, so bowel movements aren't good. Irritable bowel syndrome is commonly diagnosed from the allopathic model when they just don't know what to do with you because they don't understand how to get you to balance these two systems, okay? We do need the green and the blue though, because the blue, the active, is when you're wanting to sweat, when you're needing to think on the fly, right? This is like your hunting mechanism back in the day when we used to hunt regularly, right? So we need that as well. Now, over here, what to look for, these are your signs of hypersympathetic tone. This is your fight or flight, hyperfreeze and hypofreeze, and I'll explain those super, super quickly, but these are no-go. And this is also what we see in today's society for the most part. This orange right here is you are stuck in this state of reacting to danger, okay? This is where you'll see anxiety show up the most. This is where you'll see quick breathing because people don't know how to breathe properly, right? And this is usually where we find most people that come in without pain complaints, okay? When it comes to pain complaints, they're floating between the orange and this red. And there's a reason for that. You see a wait opportunity to escape. There's a threat to life. Pain is the last symptom to show up, but the first symptom to go away when you decrease function in the body and your nervous system is trying to find a way to tell you, I need help, okay? That something is wrong, structurally, functionally, with something in your body. That's how our body knows to balance these two systems, that something's wrong. When we're stuck in this hyper freeze, this hypersympathetic tone, this is where we get the pain. This is where we get people that have a lot of chronic issues that have been there for a long time because it takes a while to get stuck here. Now, what happens if you're stuck here and you don't do anything about it at all? This is where Dr. Brad turns into EMT Brad, right? Because you become hypo-frozen. And what that means is when you're stuck in hypersympathetic tone for such a long time, your body goes into this emergency response. The only thing it knows how to do is to produce as many hormones as possible, as many neurotransmitters as possible to switch you. But the bad thing about that is it's forced and it's too much. So you become hyper parasympathetic, okay? This is when we see significantly low heart rate. This is when we see not enough breathing. This is most people have to go to the hospital at this point because the body is shutting down, right? So I just wanted to break down that chart real quick, show you guys the importance of the autonomic nervous system, but also the reason why in chiropractic we always harp on homeodynamics and the balance between these two systems, kind of like a yin and a yang, right? We want to have a good balance to life with our energies. So we want to float between here. If you guys have any more questions about this, I'd love to give you more information about it. And if you guys are interested, just leave a comment below if you're watching this on our social media. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. We're going to go over some awesome stuff with sleep study, strain cycles, and the importance between balancing day strain and sleep. And I used myself as an experiment guinea pig for the past 6 months, so you guys will also get to see some of the research that I've been doing on the side. Thanks, guys.